All right, I want to show you all the exact moment that Republican Representative Barry Moore of Alabama quite literally ran out the back door of a town hall that he held in his own district when he just failed to have satisfying answers about Trump's big, ugly bill. His own constituents were asking very valid questions about the hospital closures that Alabama's facing that are only accelerated by this big, ugly bill. The mobilization of the National Guard, not to help the people of Alabama in any way, but to help Donald Trump's insane agenda. On screen right now, you see Representative Barry Moore just exiting the back of the town hall while people yell shame and say, yeah, you leave out the back door. Yeah, walk out the back door. I want to walk you all through how we got here, because the town hall started off a little bit more calm and things only hit the fan after Republican Representative Barry Moore tried to skirt around all of the really important questions. We're going to start off with the National Guard, and then I want to talk to you about the hospitals that are closing and how the big ugly bill accelerates that in a lot of rural communities. Let's start here.
From Robertsdale wants to know, we're spending money deploying the National Guard in our state instead of using these funds for something that will benefit Alabama residents. Do you agree with deploying the National Guard?
Reread that. That's not how I wrote it. Try again, buddy.
I read it right off the sheet.
No, it said it's not in D.C.
Well, I think I already answered that, but I absolutely support President Trump cleaning up D.C. and putting soldiers on the ground out there.
What about Alabama?
I've
been to D.C. twice. What about here? What about here? But they're deploying it to Alabama.
We have the authority at the federal level because of the Constitution to do that in the state. So the governor has the right to...
There's nothing worse than slick, sick politicians like this who will sit there and lie to you, who will sit there and say, oh, the National Guard needs to be in D.C. As the people in the room point out, what about us? What about the people of Alabama? You're wasting not only the resources of the National Guard. You shouldn't mobilize the National Guard for any dumb reason, but if you are going to mobilize it, why not help the people of Alabama and not mobilize it for Donald Trump's weird authoritarian agenda? They are now mobilizing the National Guard from 19 states just to help illegal immigration crackdowns in D.C. What is this? A new report shows not only the Alabama National Guard is set to mobilize, but National Guardsmen from Alabama and 18 other states will mobilize soon to assist the Department of Homeland Security. Here's the reality. Alabama is already suffering with not only hospital closures, but education. There are education problems in Alabama, infrastructure problems in Alabama, a bunch of problems in these red states that need to be addressed, but they're using National Guardsmen and state resources, state money, to help Donald Trump in his immigration crackdown. When I say crackdown, it's really just targeting people who are here to live a better life. They're not even targeting criminals. If you want to target people who are here illegally and are in gangs, that's one story, but that's not what the administration's doing. In this next clip, he's asked about the hospitals closing. This one is uniquely important because a lot of rural communities are going to see hospital closures accelerate due to this big, ugly bill. By the way, make sure you drop a like and make sure you subscribe to the Adam Mockler feed. Let's continue.
She wants to know, how will you protect rural hospitals from closing?
So in the Big Beautiful Bill, which y'all seem to like a lot, we put $9.4 million for all 54 rural hospitals in Alabama. So because these cities are struggling to keep their rural hospitals open, we knew in the Big Beautiful Bill we had...
all the hospitals?
No, all rural hospitals, there's 54 in Alabama that qualify.
They're closing.
$9.4 million, all rural hospitals. Each hospital will get $9.4 million.
That might operate for a couple days.
We put $50 billion in the bill for rural hospitals.
The problem is when you say you're giving $9.4 million to a hospital and the number before that was 15, then you're actually decreasing the budget at a time when Alabama rural hospitals are facing a closure crisis and urgent solutions are needed. Rural hospitals across Alabama, as of April 23rd, are grappling with severe financial challenges. But after this bill was passed, we then learned that Medicaid cuts in this big ugly bill put 5 Alabama hospitals at risk of closing. But the problem is, there are already about a dozen hospitals at risk of closing in Alabama. So this increases it by 5 more and they're just mobilizing the National Guard to DC. Their solution, the solution of Republicans in the state of Alabama, not only the governor, but everybody down to the representatives and the local officials, their solution is not to push back against the big ugly bill, it's to help Donald Trump mobilize the National Guard. Here's another clip.
Corey from Alberta wants to know about the 210,000 children and veterans that lost Medicaid coverage under the big beautiful bill.
So there will be no dependent children kicked off Medicaid unless they're here illegally, right? I mean, so they're. But there will be nobody with dependent children or working for that are going to lose Medicaid.
Yes, they are.
Everything he just said was a lie. I hate how these politicians slip around these questions and answers. This article reads, low-income children and families would be among the groups hit hardest by Republicans' One Big Beautiful Bill Act. This is an NPR article that was about the big ugly bill as it was passing. While the bill would be a boon to wealthy Americans, it would scale back resources for the nation's poorest households, the nonpartisan CBO warned in a recent letter to lawmakers. In an effort to pay for an extension to the 2017 Trump tax cuts, Republicans in both the House and Senate want to change or reduce key social safety net programs, and a lot of this will be in the form of health care cuts for children. This reads, more than 37 million children are enrolled in either Medicaid or CHIP, and combined, Medicaid and CHIP protect nearly half of all children in the United States. Congressional Republicans want to allow states to impose waiting periods before families can enroll in CHIP and to lock them out of the program if they fail to keep up with premiums. They also propose changing Medicaid in vast ways, and it passed. It passed. So now, let's go to the clip of the Republican representative storming out.
So due process for a citizen and a non-citizen are different.
No, it's not.
The 5th and 14th Amendments allow for the Supreme Court has backed it many times.
Shame.
Shame. Shame.
Yeah, walk out the back door. Walk out the back door.
I just want to end this off by saying this is one of the key problems with the way Republicans are operating. They're taking power away from the people in the district and giving it to, it was Elon Musk at one point, because Elon Musk genuinely took power away from Congress via the power of the purse and was allocating and cutting funds on his own accord. So when Elon Musk, for example, took power away from Congress, that takes power away from the people that voted those representatives in. The constituents in that room vote in representatives like Barry Moore to represent them at one point or another, represent them in Congress. When Congress is then ceding power to Elon Musk and Donald Trump and J.D. Vance and all of these people, then it becomes a scary situation. If you appreciate these videos, make sure you drop a like. And really quickly, Trump promised he would not touch Medicare. He said he would not touch Medicaid, but that's one of the first things Republicans did when they got into power. It's more important now than ever to make sure you're getting every benefit you're entitled to. And listen, I vet my sponsors very, very cleanly. Chapter is one that you can trust. It's hard to know who to trust when it comes to Medicare. My relative recently turned 65 and got a bunch of scam flyers, shady calls, misleading ads, you name it. She was just absolutely flooded. But Chapter is the only Medicare advisor that searches every single plan and gives you clear, honest guidance. So the call is free. I urge you to call the number at the bottom of the screen, 706-312-8635, or click the link in the description. Whether you're already on Medicare or about to turn 65, don't go at it alone. Take the free call. There is a free call if you call 706-312-8635. Thank you to Chapter for making these videos possible. Thank you to you all. Peace out.